I'm Antonio Gardner. I am the outgoing trustee for membership and leadership within Sophie. I'm also the developer of the LEAD Fellowship program, as well as on the Resource Development Committee and the Membership Committee. So I've been a member of Sophie for over a decade now. So my membership journey began in my doctoral program at the University of Alabama. My department chair recommended that we join 3 organizations, and we could decide from those 3 organizations where we would like our home to be. And so I naturally migrated to Sophie after my experience with the more intimate membership, the intimate conference settings, the fact that people know your name. They're not afraid to tap you on the shoulder and say, hello, this is such and such. I've read your paper, or I want to collaborate with you on a book chapter, things like that. So Sophie's always been home for me professionally because of those experiences as a member. I would guesstimate that I've been to about 8-ish Sophie conferences so far. Each one, I get more opportunities to be involved with Sophie. So that's honestly what started my leadership journey in Sophie, is just showing up to conferences. I'm always curious about how things work, and that's how I end up in leadership roles, is asking questions. Oh, well, this is how this works. You should join this committee. And the next thing you know, I'm on a committee, on a task force, or I'm investigating that thing for the organization, for my own personal gain, but also for ultimately the organization's personal gain. So some of the opportunities for members within Sophie include joining the Collegiate Champions for undergraduate and graduate students. There are several awards and fellowships that are available. I helped develop the LEAD Fellowship program, which is just an opportunity for Sophie to diversify its leadership within the organization. So there's a 1-year fellowship that's associated with that, where you get leadership development skills. You get to work on a project as a cohort, and then you get to present your research, your findings from your cohort's work at the annual conference or at the advocacy summit. Other ways to get involved include the membership committee, where you really play an active role in the membership experience because you're engaged in intimate discussions about what's working and what's not working well for you as a member, and maybe other members as well. And from those discussions, we're able to develop initiatives and programs to enhance the membership experience. A committee that, of course, through my trustee role that I chaired, is the nominations committee. And that's the opportunity to decide who is elected as the leadership for the organization. So on that committee, there's a chair that's appointed by the board. Then there is the opportunity for the student trustee, importance of student trustees serving, to be a part of that nominations committee. There are 2 House of Delegates positions, as well as 2 Board of Trustees positions on that committee. And then 1 past president gets to join that committee. And as a committee, we decide who should be involved in the leadership of the organization. So everything is pretty much self-nominations. However, there's the opportunity for that committee to review your credentials, your experiences with Sophie and other organizations, to make the decision on who the membership ultimately decides will be the leaders of the organization. For me, coming to the conference is like a to-do thing on my list every year. Sophie is home for me, and so when I get to the conference, it's just meeting up with my big, ginormous health education family. And with the conference, I'm able to obviously present my research that I have, but also learn from other researchers what they're doing in the field that hasn't quite made it to the textbook. It hasn't quite made it to the presses yet in publication. So you're getting the freshest information from professionals who are doing the work out in the field. Other opportunities that are presented at the conference include collaborations, opportunities to be in leadership as well. There are opportunities for peer review, textbook chapters, you name it. If you come to this conference, there is something for you available as a student, as a professional. One advantage that members probably don't realize is like the biggest perk of being in Sophie is the access to our journals. So we have health education and behavior, we have health promotion practice, and we have pedagogy and health promotion. And those are our big 3 journals with Sophie. And so as a member, you get a discount on those journals. What also comes with the conference experience is actually meeting the editors of the journals and potentially being pulled into peer review for the journals, as well as potential roles on the boards themselves. So there are opportunities specifically within the journals just to get your feet wet and know what the publication process is all about. Self is a big ball of energy for me. There's a lot going on from the time you step foot in your hotel. I usually end up meeting a Sophie staff person or another conference attendee while I'm checking into the hotel. And so from there, the discussions start. What have you been doing? Where have you been? What's on the agenda for you the next year or the next couple years? The phenomenal presentations that we have during the conference. The speakers are just full of energy. They're excited to share their work. The audience members are engaged. They're excited to be there to listen to these world-renowned researchers and presenters talk about the cutting-edge research that they're working on. Other opportunities may include panel discussions and just connecting with family, with friends that are members of Sophie. They become your family after a while, and it's hard to go through a week sometimes without contacting someone who's involved in the organization because you're on a committee or you're on a task force or you're working with them on an editorial board or you're reviewing for their journal. So Sophie has a lot to offer. You leave with more energy than when you came. And so the hard part is leaving a lot of times the conference because everyone's basically at the brink of tears. It was like, oh, I have to go back to my actual family to do all the things. But I really want to spend more time with you all and just solve all the world's problems together in the space as we've been doing for the last 2 or 3 days.